Welcome back to Gold League Delusions of Grandeur. With a probe right off the bat in the top left, it's Lux. And this is going to get really annoying to go back and forth. But from the Slux clan, Anyways, I assume a coincidence. Lexxios. Lexxios. We're just going with that one. That one's easy enough. But a probe scout and on a biogenesis, the smallest map in the map pool. We're up close, we're personal, we take it personally. Shenanigans are almost guaranteed, especially when our Protoss player is deemed it not appropriate to go for a wall, but has deemed it appropriate to go for a forge. Lexxios has gone for the pull first, though. He has all the tools here with which to potentially defend a cannon rush. Cannons not known for their requirement of gas. An assimilator is on the way. He's going to get gas banked up for his eventual transition into, I can only assume, carriers. But he can't actually spend any gas right now, so that's an interesting call. Lux coming in. The Overlord will get a scout. There are Zerglings on the field. They can come down and cancel this cannon. Another cannon behind it. None of these particularly threatening. Another cannon. The probe on the high ground trying to get a pylon there. The Queen, you shut down the probe. You shut down the problem. But can the cannon can reach the creep tumor just by a bit. The probe tried to escape, unfortunately. The source of all problems has been taken down. This pylon can eventually be killed off by the Queen, but if at first you don't succeed, send 4 more probes, as is common knowledge. Just really making sure he's gonna get that gas mined as well for that carrier transition. A Roach Warren has completed. The worker count 21 to 18, but there are 4 probes off the line. This Terra music really setting the scene. Going for the cannons on the high ground. He's very, very optimistic. The other 3 probes looking on and saying, "You go, girl." Oh, but he's going for it. The cannon's in range. This Queen getting dangerously close. The probes could come up and maybe go for the kill. Wait. He's going to dodge out. The probes getting in the way of the other probes. A too many cooks situation here. But cannon's coming up. 1 probe survives. It seems 4 was the perfect number. The probe on the chase. Well, actually, the Queen on the chase. The probe will juke back. There are roaches here to go for the kill. He goes into the mineral line. The roaches will kill the probe, but it seemed 4 probes was the exact number required to make sure this cannon rush was successful. That Overlord barely dodges the cannon. That pylon is dangerously low, and it's a tantalizing target, but there are 3 cannons online now. Oh no, the Queen gets too close. The Queen gonna regret it. More cannons under fire. He's gonna go for the pylon. He's got the shield down, but all the cannons are in range. But wait, the hero roaches. Don't worry, there are 4 more probes where that came from. 3rd time's a charm. There's a gateway in the main. Has plenty of gas behind. He can repower these cannons. There's only 1 roach on the field. This roach going to work, but 4 more probes looking by. Another pylon on the way up. Two drones coming off the line. They will slip through the probe line. The pylon's on the way. The probe's trying to draw attention. He's going to go for this pylon. This pylon not powering anything. It's a distractic. Oh, but more pylon. He could just kill the kid. No, he goes for the probes. He goes for the probes. The probe's on the run. But the power will come back online. The roaches were distracted. And now the cannons are back. 2 drones will escape in order to expand to the great outside. Here's an expansion on the way. The Roach Warren is actually within range. I think he has enough roaches to just kill this, but he's going for the pylon. The only pylon that won't depower anything. He goes for it. The cannon's getting a lot of work done here. He's going for the cannons now. Hopefully he doesn't get distracted and go for pylons. The cannon's doing a lot of work. The cannons from the low ground joining in the party. He will back off. The roach went under fire again. He's going for the pylon. He can't decide what he wants. The double expand. 2 more probes on the way. He will be able to finish it. The cannons from the low ground continue to siege. Shield batteries will reinforce the contain. 4 probes. The 4th round of 4 probes. 4 shield, well, 3 shield, wait, I can't count anymore. That probe is trapped in a prison of its own design. A 5th probe. This time, this might be the difference. He sent 4 probes. It hasn't done it. 5 probes, though. Really thinking outside the box here. Oh, he's going for the low ground. The shield batteries are coming up just in time. He's going to be able to keep the cannon online just a little bit longer. The shields are going to be regenerated. And he's going to force him back into his main. Lux continues the cannon contain. And the smoke clears. The unit's lost. And the resources lost actually pretty even here. No Ravagers as of yet, but Lexxios has expanded outside. At the same time, Lux has been diligently building probes and drafting many of them to fight. A lair has been completed. As they're both speeding forward. But finally we get some room to breathe. The non-stop action. There will be a lull. Lux has scouted. How many? He's scouted everything. He knows. But he has no units with which to punish. He has a warp gate, but has just now started warp gate research at the 7-minute mark. Which is a bit on the late side. 700 gas, but he's going to make sure he's mining all of the gas. What is the transition? 4 probes, doing a team-building exercise over near the cannon contain. This probe begins an arduous task of killing this hatchery. Are you gonna... He's trying to find... Has he found a location? Some serious recon happening. He slips off the creep, bringing this knowledge back home to command. Hydras pop out, but they have no idea where the probe could have gone. Alright. The worker count, 37 to 26, as we're transitioning into something that actually resembles a macro game. There is still the elephant in the room. And by elephant, I mean 6 cannons, 7 cannons. And by room, I mean his natural. But the idea stands. Looks like all the tech is being now invested in for Lux. He's got a Twilight and a Stargate and a second gateway. The probe slips on the edge of the creep. The Hydras are none the wiser. He gets close. He gives his life. These 5 probes. Realizing that's not a fight they want to take. Who knows when they will find one. I'm not entirely sure what these probes thought they could accomplish. They saw their leader die and they had to follow in his footsteps, no matter the cost. So Lexxios ahead, 76 to 42 supply. But he still has to break out a lot of his units past the cannons. A 3rd base being taken by Lux. The vast majority of his supply is invested in probes, of which he's ahead by 1 now. A single void ray. But a spire completes. He has no money with which to build mulisks. Essentially none. But he's thinking forward. Oh my god. A fleet beacon. A fleet beacon is on the way. Because of course it is. Thank you.
Will be rewarded.
So it seems that carrier transition is in the works. as was foretold. Two Mutalists. No! No! Taking everyone by surprise. Lexxios will be surprised. I'm surprised. I'm kind of sure Lux is surprised by his choice of going for a single Tempest. A single Tempest is much like, what's a good analogy here? Why does nothing come to mind? Like one part of a duet. Nope, that's not I got nothing. All right, you guys, feel free to fill in here. This is my job, but I got nothing. I've completely blanked out. It's like trying to drain a river with a bucket or something like that. I don't know. Wow. Usually, what happens here? So, I feel like these players have builds much like the way I construct my sentences. You start out with something and you have no idea where it's going to end up. That's how I start most of my sentences. That's how these players, I assume, start most of their builds. And then, at the end, a lot of the time, you end up with a single Tempest and no idea what to say. So I'm glad they can really empathize, and I empathize with them here in this match. As aside from that first 6-7 minutes of Cannon Rush, we've just had a huge build-up session here. It looks like Lexxios is ready to move. He's gonna go for the cannons. The shield battery's going to work. He's going for the pylons. Pylons have more HP than cannons, but the shield batteries won't automatically heal them. All the cannons are still firing. He's chasing down one at a time. He's going for the third pylon. Almost everything is depowered, but these cannons so incredible. And then he just kills all the cannons anyways. The worst of both worlds. But where did all these stalkers come from to save the cannons? Have the cannons done enough, though? There's one Tempest hurling cotton balls from the back. I don't know if the Tempest is going to be enough. There's still plenty of Hydras. Oh, but the Blink! The Micro! To the back! The Tempest doing its best! The Stalkers will be taken down. The Tempest turns tail and runs. And somehow, Lexxios, with the power of having more units, comes out on top, but not by much. He managed to lose almost as many units as possible to those cannons. Lux tried to come in for the save, but it just wasn't quite enough. He didn't have the unit count. If he had 2 Tempests, then maybe. But that one Tempest just not getting the job done. More Stalkers on the way, but the worker count 64 to 45 in favor of the Protoss. He loves his probes. But Lexxios, that means he has a very strong army. 71 to 34 army supply. +1 shields. We got more gateways. That single Tempest stands tall. A disciple of Idra. And of Lux. +1 Carapace here. He saw one Tempest, and that one Tempest is his white whale. He will spare no expense finding ways to kill that Tempest. We got Corruptors. We got +1 Carapace. We have additional Mutalisks. All things not so great against cannons and stalkers, but quite good at killing Tempest. +2 Protoss shields are on the way. Shields, of course, suffer, not suffer, but benefit all Protoss units rather than just ground or air, but are also expensive. So, a rarity to see as the first choice. Is that an Ultralisk Cavern? A hive has completed. An Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. We've had a couple bouts here. Everybody's retreated to their corners. Lux has a good economy, but Lexxios building a very strong army. And it's still not nearly apparent to me as a professional amateur StarCraft player, as a grandmaster. I have no idea which direction this game is going to go, and that's what makes these so entertaining. I just love watching the thought processes and or lack of at play here, as you never know what's going to happen next. The fight starts. The Hydra's in the front, but some Mutas and Corruptors making their way up. The Blink Micro has to be incredible. One Temp is going to fall, but its brother finds its way onto the field. He's in slow retreat. The Muta's being picked off on the way. The Tempest falls. He's dodging the Stalkers in. Lux. Wait, what? 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 Lexxios leaves the game? I'm sorry, guys. I was wrong. It wasn't actually Lexxios playing. This was Idra the entire time. We hid his name so you guys wouldn't know what to expect. But he's making his comeback. Unfortunately, he's only made it to the Gold League thus far. So you heard it here first. But Lux takes the victory.